People, how are you doing? We have another awesome episode of the Yugioh Show, and we've got an incredible guest today. Introduce yourself, bro.
Yo, what's up, guys? My name's Ryan. Local player to these guys. Known them a few years. First time on the show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, lovely. Good to have you. Ryan's a solid player, man. Yeah, I mean, back when I used to come to locals, yeah, Ryan's he's well known for clapping cheeks and just destroying everyone in locals. So yeah, you guys will get to know some of his expertise and skills he go on in the show. But yeah, it's been an interesting period because obviously we had some fairly exciting Yu-Gi-Oh news come out over the last, I don't know, was it last week or was it the week before? I don't know if it was last week.
It's been an exciting few weeks in general, to be fair.
Yeah,
There's been a lot that's come up.
Yeah, so what do we want to kick off with? I can't remember. We didn't talk about ban lists last week, did we?
No, the last show we did, we were talking about how bad Habakiri was and how it needed to go to one, and then that happened.
So let me bring up that ban list and we can have a bit of a chat about what Konami did. And to be fair, one thing I would say that I was a little bit surprised is I wasn't actually expecting Konami to release it like when they did. I thought they were going to wait a little bit after Burst Protocol again, because sometimes I don't know. I think they have this idea that like the new set is going to shake things up, and they're like, "Oh, let's not do any bans." But I guess they changed their mind this time, and they said, "Well, yeah, it's time to screw over some of your decks." So we've got the 4 images here, and so yeah, to start off with, obviously in the forbidden section, they hit another barrier statue. They hit Whitebinder, Herald, and Featherstorm, which everyone's happy about that. For limited, we had Malulu, Jokal, Holly Sue, which came back up. I think Holly Sue banned before, or was it not banned? Did that come up or did that go down?
It's gone down.
Gone down. Okay, Holly Sue went to 1, Snatchy went to 1, Habakiri went to 1, Case for K9 went to 1, and Ketu went to 1. Then for semi-limited, just Stroll, and then for the unlimited, which is a pretty fat one this time, we had Black Dragon, Greffar, Raisin, Wyver Burster, Dryden, Change of Heart, Inclusion, Snatch Deal, and Stake Your Soul. So again, let's start off with the bans, because I think this is a pretty interesting picture. So what do you think about these bans, guys?
The first thing that comes to my mind is warranted.
100%.
Everything that you look at on the ban list, nobody's looking at that ban section and thinking to themselves, that was a bit unfair. Like, yeah. Everyone's looking at that like, yeah, I'm glad to see the back of you, because honestly, like Harpy's Featherstorm, just, I don't know why it even existed at this point in the time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even though there's not a deck that can naturally like abuse it, like it's quite easily abusable, so it needed to go. Herald, for obvious reasons. It's a bit of a shame for like pure Dogmatica, but it's life, innit? Like,
That'll be fine.
I've got less sympathy for decks after they did what they did to Vanquish, so.
We'll get onto that, Andre, don't worry.
But yeah, it's warranted.
Yeah, the Whitebinder hit as well, I think is nice. Like Malice has been, it's this weird deck where we thought after it got hit the first time it would be trash, right? And then it was still kind of poking around the format. And then we came to this new format, and if I'm not mistaken, it was like almost one of the best decks, right? Like it was popping around in events and stuff. So it's nice that they've slapped it down with that hit to Whitebinder. Is Whitebinder's the one that banishes 3, right? Banishes 3 and sets trap from deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a pretty good hit. Like it's not the end. I think Red Ransom is the really good 1-turn one, right? Is that Red Ransom is the one that like?
Well, you always go through Whitebinder, to be honest. But you don't always necessarily have to go through Red Ransom.
Okay.
But you usually will, especially if you get hit with 4 loss.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, I think it's a nice little hit to Malice. Like I don't know though, because I'm a bit terrified that I'm still going to see some people chucking around with Malice. I don't know how viable does Malice still seem after this hit. I don't know.
Well, to be honest, I can see a lot of the German players that keep topping with it. I think they will still keep playing it. They'll just find new ways to do it, man. There's so many good Cyberse cards, and they all do basically the same thing. So
yeah,
they'll find a way.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Malice didn't actually get any other hits, did it?
Uh-huh.
No,
I don't think so. It is interesting that they hit Whitebinder, because I'm not sure if it was OCG or Master Duel, but they hit Red Ransom, right?
In both, yeah.
OCG. Oh, is it both? Oh, mad.
Yeah.
They hit. Oh wow, man! So they had both Whitebinder and Red Ransom to 1.
Oh no. So I'm sorry, both Master Duel and OCG had Red Ransom banned.
Okay, yeah.
I
So
think they learned the lesson from that because it was still like running right, especially on Master Duel.
Okay.
yeah, so definitely going to be a nice little hit to miss. I think it's good. Yeah, let's get that deck out of there. And Torrent as well. Like one of the things I can't like. I think Momo's a trash deck, guys. I think that deck is so doo doo, bro. The only good thing about that deck was literally this barrier statue. I guess they shifty your hand a bit and then you lose 2 cards. But other than that, the thing that like I personally always lose to obviously is the Torrent. Like they do a bunch of stuff and then they put Torrent on the field and you can't really out their board. So I think Torrent going is very nice, man. I'm happy. I think it's only the Rock one left, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the Rock one
Nah.
was banned a couple of lists ago.
Yeah, that got banned first. Yeah,
Is it the dark and the light one that's left?
Yeah, I
think
think
so.
it's just the dark and the
Yeah,
light
yeah.
ones left.
Barrier statue.
Which is
I mean, I
mad
don't-
because
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah, what's the point?
Chimera can still abuse it if they really wanted to go out their way. I mean, it's not really like a relevant deck in the meta, but someone can still abuse a barrier statue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I suppose
Yeah.
the mentality
it's
behind
such-
it is maybe they're the most common attributes.
Suppose.
Mhm.
But still, if they're on this path of banning floodgates, which they seem to be on,
Yeah.
what's the point of keeping these little random ones around?
Yeah. I completely agree. But
Yeah.
maybe it's just because they haven't been abused yet. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's also they're not the fastest people in the world to do things, right? So I could also see them just for no reason waiting until the next 2 ban lists and then doing it one at a time. Like Konami does that a lot. Yeah,
And then Herald, obviously, there's nothing needs to be said about Herald.
bro, that card. I love ritual decks, and I'm glad that card's gone, man. That card is so frustrating to play against, man. That card is really, really annoying. Yeah. Right, so if we go to the semi-limits, we obviously have Malulu, which I don't know. From what I've been told by Dracotel players, Malulu and Ketu doesn't matter that much because you just replace them with the stuff from the Chronicles set.
The
But the Magistus and the new Albas stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know I've been watching a lot of the like Logan Sanders and all these guys, and according to these guys, the Magista stuff isn't as good, you know. So they've all been saying that apparently you should put branded stuff in, you don't put as much Magista stuff in. I don't know how true that is, but it'll be interesting to see how the Dracotel builds end up playing out, because a lot of them are saying that Magistus Dracotel is good, but it's really branded Dracotel is where it's at. It's like you don't need to put in all the Magista stuff too. So
I think maybe that was the case initially, but I have seen a few people talk about putting the Magistus stuff back because there is a way to make Dracotail bridge into Magistus with the Chirozzo, the contact fuse level 4. So I think that, to be honest, I feel like with the Magistus stuff and the branded stuff in Dracotail, it's kind of just pick your poison, right?
100%.
That's the way it seems to me, at least. I've tested no Dracotail whatsoever, so...
We've played against it a lot. I will say that deck is, it's a hard deck to beat. They seem to have just infinite resources from everywhere. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that deck ends up panning out next format. Yeah. And
Yeah, I
then
think-
These Draco, it's sorry, just to interject. Obviously, the Malula hit's fine. You're losing 2 ways to fuse, but you're gaining a few ways to fuse in the new set anyway, so it's not too much of a hit. The Ketu hit, I think, is quite underrated, to be honest. Obviously, it reduces the consistency of seeing the Dracotel names, but the main way it actually hits the deck is the fact that you've now got less cards to set on the deck when you actually fuse. So by the time you get to turn 3, if your opponent's like maybe Ashton and Belled a couple of your traps, you've basically got nothing left to set, and you can't actually resolve your effects.
Yeah, I was literally going to mention that as well as it's forced Dracotail players to basically play like fusion pile slap, which is a little bit annoying because we're just back to this scenario where you just like putting engines together again, and it's just it can get a little bit frustrating because playing pure Dracotail now is just not really an option. Do you got what I mean?
It doesn't seem doable.
Yeah, it's not the most optimal way to play it. So you're gonna put the Albaz stuff in, and it just turns into this mad fusion pile that eventually people are gonna get tired of, and then you're gonna hear calls for bans because it's just too overwhelming for like a lot of the other decks that are out there. In my opinion, anyway.
Is there any cheeky locks people are doing with Dracotel branded? Because I feel like branded is always, with especially Sanctified, there's always something cute you can do with it. Is there any, what are you trying to end on with Dracotel branded, or is it just standard, make a lot of advantage?
There are locks you can do. I'm not sure if they're so applicable in the Draco Tail version because I think you have to go through a Grand Guignol line. But there's a lock you can do without playing Albion the Sanctifier by milling. I think it's Christia or the Invader of Darkness, the one that stops quick plays. And because you've got Ecclesia in the grave, you can use Fallen of the Virtuous to revive it and then just get a floodgate. So that's probably the most toxic thing they can do, I think. Unless there's anything I've missed, Ryan. I know you and Ahmed have been testing a decent bit of Draco.
Nah, to be honest, those two cards aren't the most common. The Invader of Chaos, whatever it's called, the one that stops quick plays, that one is seeing a bit more play than the Christia. But it is definitely something the deck can do. It doesn't rely on the Sanctifier anymore to lock you out, obviously, because you've now got the quick players, as Dan said. So it's a little. I don't know if it'll end up seeing too much play. It's a little bit janky, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, this card, Invader of Darkness, it's called. I think that definitely will see play.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be dirty against what's the
Typhoon, yeah.
Yeah, Typhoon has to be dirty against them. And also with everyone playing Fallen the Virtuous and stuff like that as well, like droplets as well, which is fantastic against Draco Tail.
Crown as well, yeah.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I've even found in the Draco Tail matchup, which is a bit frustrating, is I don't, even though Ash is a really good card, but I don't always want to play Bell, for example. But I kind of have to play them because of Draco Tail, because of the way their traps work. And droplets is the way I can get away with that sometimes going second, because sometimes I want to chuck in hand traps. But if I know that there's a chance they're going to be bringing this out, I can't even play droplets. And droplets is droplets, and then there's that spell. What's that? It's like it destroys your spell and their spell.
Double Cyclone.
Yeah, droplets and double cyclone. I think those are like the only like relevant non-hand trap options to stop the back row, right? I can't really think of anything. Oh well, yes, evenly if you want to let your opponent win. But like, outside of that, I can't really think of a good option. So yeah, I feel like in Invader of Darkness is if I know they can play this, yeah, that's going to be a bit peaky against Draco Tail for sure. Yeah. But Jokul. So which one is Jokul again? K9 is a deck that I can't lie. I don't have much familiarity. Which one is Jokul again?
The summon from hand and search, and you're not locked into anything. It's pretty busted.
Okay. So taking that to one is quite nice then for sure. I mean, I guess they have the Rotor and they have the Jokul ban, but then. So you said summons from hand and it searches. But I feel like, does Azuna search? No, Azuna dumps, right? She doesn't search.
Yeah,
Azuna dumps.
Azuna dumps, so she's not really a starter, is she?
No. The thing with Jokul, for it to be a starter without eating your normal summon, you need to have another level 5 in conjunction with it because it summons both of them. Yeah. But the thing with the case limit, if you like, obviously it's got the applications if you send it with Noroi or you pop it through some other way to set the quick play. But you can just play Chaotic Elements to search Jokul, and that also searches Lantern. So
I was gonna say, like, I feel like I've never seen a K9 player start with that card against me, bro. It's always they're putting their XYZs and stuff on the board, and then they're searching for Case of K9 off the effects on the board. So I don't know, that hit I can't see it mattering that much. And then as you said, Chaotic Elements, that card is flipping crazy. I'm Christian K9, I was playing that before, to be fair, and yeah, that card is nuts. So yeah, I don't know. I would see that being a big issue for them. But I mean, obviously, Andre, I know you're celebrating. You're happy with this. With this next one, Holly soon getting taken down a bit because it's meant that you can get some other cards back.
Yep. I think you know what it is. Holly Sue is. It's unfortunate. I feel like in a vacuum by herself, she just adds power to the Draco Tail. Sorry, to the Vanquish Soul deck. But when it's in conjunction with the K9 stuff, it does too much. So I'm myself, I'm quite happy to see it one. It just means less turn 0 plays. Like obviously I've been messing around with it. You can't do the whole Holly Sue combo on your opponent's turn 1 as consistently. But you still can do everything that you could do before. Like there's nothing missing. There's just less consistency of which you can do that. And then if you really hell bent on playing Chaotic Elements, you can. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just another option. But the fact that you're getting, well, we'll come to the other stuff in a bit, but I feel like it's a fair trade. Like I'm happy with the fact that you can play the deck like effectively, whereas before it's like you have to play K9. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Now if you want to be a rogue agent, you can just go in there solo and not play any K9 stuff and just get whipped. But you've got the option to. Whereas before it was like, it's K9 or bust. You know what I mean? So that I'm happy about.
To be fair though, if we were in a world where Lunar Light does become a bit of a terror, yeah, I mean, pure Vanquish is looking a lot better if we're playing against. I mean, don't say that K9 Vanquish is not good against Lunar Light, but pure Vanquish is also another deck. Like in general, when I'm playing Lunar Light, Vanquish is pretty much the only deck that I'm like, oh, I don't want to play this guy because I know that he's literally just going to keep burning me unless I get out that field spell. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is definitely going to be a nice thing for them. Yeah, for sure. But the next two hits are obviously, this is a double KO for that Yummy Mitsu deck. I mean, yeah, Snatchy to 1 and Habikiri to 1 is absolutely fantastic, to be honest. I'm quite happy with both of those hits. I mean, to be fair, I would have almost said ban Habikiri, but still, to 1 is also fair as well. To 1 is also fair. So what do you think about those?
One thing that I'd want to ask more to see what you guys think about the Mitsurugi hit, and I suppose the Yummy hit in conjunction as well. Like, do you think that there's anything more that should have been done, or do you think like maybe it should have been another card instead of these, or do you think these hits are like pretty nail on the head? Because I've heard quite a few different opinions about it, so I'm quite interested to see what you boys have to say.
Yeah, Clumsy to 1. Like, Yummy, bro. I hate that deck.
Annihilate all the sugar in the house. Like, just get rid of it.
That's like a diabetes deck right here. I'll take that shit out. No, but to be fair, no, I actually wouldn't say Cup C to 1. I think Cup C is a poorly designed card. I think the Yummy archetype is not amazing there, but Cup C especially, I don't like that card. I think I mentioned it last week. I don't like the whole notion of like you normal summon Cup C, and then if you have a low impact hand trap and you hit it, it's like it's safe. I'm just gonna carry on comboing anyway. So I don't like cards like that. And Snatchy's the real problem, but Cup C is also a problem. Also Cup C to 1 probably. And then for Mitsurugi, like I would just have errated Habikiri. You can only summon reptile cards a turn you have to activate this card. Now the card's balanced. That's what I'd do to Mitsurugi. So.
Yeah. I don't know if I wouldn't even say anything more needs to be hit, to be honest. I feel like it's done enough. To be able to play Yummy now, you have to really go out of your way to be like formulating some plan of link ones and formulating your plays so you can actually like make efficient use of Snatchy, because if it gets removed anyway, like if it gets banished face down, like you're not really doing a lot. You gotta be in. If Unicorn hits the field for any reason and then decides to resolve its effect, it's a long day at the office.
I said, when Cool Tune banishes from your deck, do they choose or do you choose, or is it random? Because Cool Tune can banish from your extra deck for sure.
I know that's random.
Random.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But yeah, Cool Tune have the ability to banish 3 cards from your extra deck. I don't know if it's face up or face down, but even that is pretty dirty if you're playing Yummy. I mean, I guess you better start playing with Linkarebos basically, or otherwise you're not going to get to play. So.
Yeah. What do you think about it, Ryan? Because I know Mitsu-Yumi's a deck you played for a long time.
In terms of the Snatchy hit, I think it was unnecessary. You've banned Herald. You've limited the consistency and playability of Mitsurugi, at least as a side engine. The deck is really doing too much without those cards. It's a pretty fair and balanced deck if you ask me. Obviously, like Simeon says, Cup C is a really good starter, but there's a lot of really good starters out there at the moment. It's not just Cup C. It's just the power creep of the game, how it's gone. Cards are that good now. So yeah, personally, I'm not too sure. I think it was a little bit unnecessary. The deck is still playable. You can do more interesting stuff with it now. Triff, I've seen him playing pure Yummy, and on the opponent's turn, well, he'll end on the level 7. The new level 7 that comes out in Burst Protocol. I don't remember the name, but it's a negate as long as you chain something to the opponent's card first. And obviously with Yummy, that's really easy to do. And then on the opponent's turn, it can set up the Gen X Ally Negate Synchro that banishes an attribute from grave to negate a new card every time. And then again, you can turn that into Chaos Angel to get a banish on their turn, on top of the normal like Yummy stuff like popping with the field spell, booking with Cookie, bouncing with surprise, etc. So there's still stuff you can do, but I just don't think it's worth playing at the moment. In terms of Habikiri, I think it's the right hit. You've brought down the consistency of Mitsurugi. You've also brought down the follow up a little bit as well, because you're now playing less rituals. You can now actually summon less ritual monsters. You've got less tribute fodder. So it's brought that down. Obviously, we all know it's a really unbalanced card. They should have printed it with a restriction. But I can see them correcting that, not necessarily within errata, but with new cards. When the new legendary decks comes out, I think they'll end up printing stuff that is a little bit Xenolot, that does lock you into the reptiles to sort of correct the unbalancedness and the splashability of the Mitsurugi cards.
Yeah, which I'm all for, to be fair. I think Mitsurugi as its own deck is like completely fine to exist, but it is just when you start, it was just the Herald gravity controller, like just all that.
Yeah,
all the slop, for lack of a better word.
I will say, I was doing some testing with Megalith with Mitsurugi, and they have some very interesting interactions. And like, one of the cool things about Megalith is that one of the Megalith cards basically says you can't respond to anything I do, which is nice because what you can do is you can do things like tribute. You can use a Megalith effect to fusion to ritual summon your Megalith, chain link one your Mitsurugi, chain link 2 your Megalith, your opponent can't do anything. And then not only that, but like they have an ability basically to cheat a card. They have Bethel, which pops cards on board equal to the amount of ritual monsters you have in your grave. So again, they have like 4 or 5 different 2-card combinations, 2-card combos that basically mean they're going to get to pop like 3 or 4 cards from your board. So I do actually think Mitsurugi is worth looking at with Megalith. I don't think it's like super strong meta. I do think it's good. I do think like I would look at it as a similar level of power as when back in the day when Lingerie and like Tatsuya were playing Megalith at events, for example. It's like that kind of power level. So it's like it's good enough to bring to an event. It's not going to be dominating the top card, something like that. But
I love how your selling point for that deck was like, oh yeah, everything can be spell speed 4. That doesn't sound cool. That sounds horrific to play against.
yeah, I was like, the best thing about DB is people don't read cards, so it's like activated, and he's like, oh yeah,
that's not DB, bro. That's life.
I was gonna say,
let's say you can't respond to that, mate. Yeah, send them cards to the grave.
Yeah, thanks for the free info.
Yeah.
So this I want to talk about this. There's Roland Lockbird here.
Yeah, I'm happy about this. This card needs to go. They need to balance the game better. If get rid of this card and then balance the game better.
agreed.
This is weird. I feel like they need to do a more charmy version of a Jola Lockbird. Like I agree. I think the card is overall not good for the game, but there is a need to slow down decks that just do too much. Do you know what I mean? But in a more balanced way, and I don't know what that should look like, but I'm all for this hit. But I'm also very conscious that there's some combo decks out there that people will build that just do way too much, way too many searches, way too many summons, and summon too many monsters that could potentially just out negate your hand. And I don't think that's a nice position to be in if you're gonna go down the road of banning Jola Lockbird. So yes,
to Dark World player.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, by the way, Dark Lord doesn't really lose to draw. Weirdly enough, the only ones.
No, I said Dark World.
Oh, Dark World. Yeah.
I know you've got Dark Lords on the brain. We'll get to Burst Protocol soon enough.
That's the game. But yeah, no. I do agree with what you're saying, Andrew. Like, there are some decks that do just need to be kept in check, and I really do agree. But I think, man, I'm just tired of my opponent making a board and then drawing me.
Yes.
It's frustrating thing ever, man. Oh, just goof, like. This card can piss off. But yeah, and then we got that chunky unlimited list. I mean, they did quite a bit. So Black Dragon and White Dragon. I don't know. Actually, to be fair, Ryan, were you playing D-Link at one point? I can't remember. I feel like you played.
Yeah, I played it for quite a while, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming. Does it do something?
Yeah, these cards are fine. I don't think you'd ever play 3 of either. The bricks by themselves.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily play too much of the light cards anymore. So the black one will definitely be dead in hand a lot. You could maybe white 1 black, especially if you're playing the rockets or Abyssal engine, because obviously there's loads of darks there. But you'd never play 3 of either.
Yeah, it's doing nothing then, I guess. It's what it is. And then we got Greffar, which it's kind of nice, I guess, for Orcus, but even the way Orcus plays now, the Link 1 basically means that
Yeah, you're not
like
playing
you don't even
Sword.
play Armageddon Night in Orcus. Like, yeah, you I was
I've-
straight up normal in the Harper.
Yeah, you're not. I've been playing Orcus for the last couple of month a bit, and I've been doing pretty well with it. And I don't see a place for Dark Grepher. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah.
at no point are you looking to pitch anything from your hand unless it's a hand trap or you're using it with a Link 1. Like, you don't need an additional. You don't need additional discard fodder. Like, you've got enough ways to get stuff in the graveyard now anyway. Droplets, the Link 1. Do you know what I mean? The spell, is it return that lets you draw two? Like, there's too many. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't see the synergy behind this now. Especially when you can just normal summon Gearsu in it and just go crazy.
I'm surprised Orcus, to be fair, hasn't been more dominant, by the way, because that deck is like crazy efficient now. Like every single one card combo, every card is a one card combo. It's mad. Like, but, yeah. I'm surprised it's not doing better.
Just aside Forbidden Crown against Orcus, and they lose.
Wait, like what?
Yeah.
Forbidden Crown. Just can't link it off his pick.
Yeah, good point actually. And then Dryden, which I don't know.
Fine.
Yeah, we've had what's it, Detonator for a while. So Trident coming off the list is it's not making no difference.
Yeah.
Change of Heart. I don't know what this was at. Was this
It
like
was at 1. Change of Heart and Snatch Deal were at 1, and now they're back at 3, which I think is like quite interesting. I think it's disguised Hecker Hand support.
Oh yes, you're right. I love Heck Hands, and I forgot that deck existed. That's how crap it is, man. So I forgot. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
It's cool though. Like, you can just go second, and with this and mind control, you can just be like, "Can I borrow your board?"
Yeah. What else? Yeah. And then we got Inclusion, which is lovely. Very happy about that. Christian's a fun deck, and I was kind of annoyed when that got slapped because of K9. So I'm happy that, and in general, it's the same thing for Reason as well. Like, I'm happy that Konami is reverting these changes after and not just leaving these decks as like trash decks. And Stake Your Whole Soul as well. Like, it is very nice that Konami has done this. So yeah.
Do we think Crystron will still be a tier 1.5 deck? Because I definitely see a world where it's still conflicting opinions. Interesting.
I think it's just power creep.
I think it will. It still puts up a crazy board. Spell Cancel's still in the card. It still does that combo pretty consistently. You play a decent amount of non-engine, but I don't think it's too great to go in second, to be honest, as a whole for the deck. But yeah, that first turn combo is still just as crazy as it was.
Yeah. If you win all your dice rolls, you're having a good day.
Do you know what I think Christian has going against it? I just think that if you compare the card quality of the Christian deck to the card quality of the Draco Tail deck coming out right now, I just feel like it's lower. Like, some of the Christian cards are really good when you see them to start off with, but you have to, like, even like if you think about your Solfefnia and your Sulfidor, for example, both of those cards are really, really bad unless they're as part of your combo, because they don't do anything unless you see other bad cards in your hand. Whereas Dracotal has this thing where it's like, it's happy to see its bad cards because it combos with them, and then you see bricks from other engines and you can still combo with them. So that's why I don't think Christian is bad. I'd be surprised if it was getting more than like one spot though. I don't know.
I think if you're getting about the K9 cards,
that is true. The K9 cards are good for sure. Yes, but I don't know. Like, I definitely think it's. I don't know. We'll see though. I could be wrong on that one. Yeah, but if we look at the incredible set which has just dropped, the best set in Yu-Gi-Oh history, there is no.
As far as core sets go, this is a certified banger.
Yeah, this is looking nice.
Yes. So obviously, I think the real kind of awesome thing for this set obviously is a bunch of Draco Tail cards that have come out, and I guess I'm saying this set, but there's also Chronicles as well, right? Because Chronicles.
Yeah. So the big things that I noticed people taking an interest in trying to pick up is obviously your Magistus cards, the Fallen of Albaz stuff, Elf Notes as well. There's been quite a bit of buzz around that. Radiant Typhoon with the new hand trap. Loads of pretty okay rogue options to be fair, like Dark Lord, Magnet Warriors is a deck that seems to be doing stuff in the OCG. They've got Black Dragon though, so I don't know how that's going to translate over here. There's obviously like the Fur Hire cards as well. That's a deck that people are starting to cotton onto is actually like pretty decent, and there's just a lot of just good decent free agent cards as well, like the rank 10 XEs that's like basically Abyss Dweller point 2. Forbidden Crown needs no introduction. The new archetype, GMX, it's not incredible out of the gate, but it has enough promise for people to be interested in it for a second wave of support. Yeah, it's just a top to bottom pretty decent set, I'd say.
So what we're gonna do is, and I'll start with you, Ryan. In this set, oh, actually, no, sorry. Before we get onto that, no, we'll do this first. I don't want to interrupt it. What do you think, Ryan, is your favorite or the best card you think in this set? What's the card that you think is from a meta perspective?
The best card is hands down the new Fallen of the White, the new Albaz card. That card just does so much by itself. It's a starter. It's an extender. You know, that elevate the ceiling of pretty much any deck you play it in. I just think this card's crazy.
Sets up follow up.
It's like
well.
extra eyes, but even better somehow.
Oh, I just realized. No, I was about to be like, is this Secret Riser support? But no, it's got a lock on it, so
you can normal summon it though, and it is an instant rank 4 if you normal summon it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. To be fair, yeah, but yeah. So, Fallen of Albaz, yeah. I mean, I will say like, this card is literally. If this card came out when Branded first came out, so like Albaz wasn't as shitty as it was when it first came out, like it would have catapulted that deck into like the stratosphere. Like this card is
zero.
Like this card just does it. Like, yeah, it summons itself for free. It dumps an Albaz card. That's crazy. Special summons a Ecclesia for some weird reason. Like, special summons a Ecclesia from everywhere as well. Like,
I love not retroactive either, so you can just do a regular combo and just drop it down.
Yeah. So I'm definitely in agreement. This card is absolutely fantastic. And then this is all. Yeah, again, the fact that this is actually treated as Fallen of Albaz is lovely. So I don't even know. Like, I don't know what the ratios are right now. Are we looking at maybe playing one of the original just for cheekiness' sake? I don't know. Like, if it still matters. Like,
yeah, I think it depends on what you're trying to do with it. I've seen a few Dracotail lists just play flat 3, but and some like Magistus like lists from the OCG just playing a flat 3 because you're just trying to get into a synchro level 8. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone's seen differently, but I think the most common ratio is 2 and 1. 2 of this, 1 of the original.
This seems to be right. I'm trying to work out what the value is in still playing the 1.
That's what I'm thinking as well. I can see it in pure branded, but in outside of like pure branded,
it's the interruption off the Ecclesia, the Black Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a quick effect. Banish itself until the end phase, and then you summon any monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz from deck or grave. So that turns Ecclesia, as well as from being a combo extender, into interruption if you play Fallen of Albaz. Because you go Albaz, then obviously Super Poly, make Mirror Jade or Dragon or whatever.
Yeah. So I can see maybe. By the way, I love this Romanization as well. Illegitimate child of the White Dragon. That's a fantastic name.
Legitimate child of the White. I didn't even know that.
Illegitimate child.
Oh, illegitimate.
Bastard child of the White Dragon is. It makes sense because Albion the Bastard Dragon is the original translation.
Original Titanic Club one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so it makes sense. But yeah, that's a great Romanization. But yes, yeah. This card is absolutely cracked. But does anyone have a different? Is there any other card that anyone thinks is absolutely amazing cards?
I think I'd have to go with Forbidden Crown. You know,
that was going to be my question as well. You know.
Yeah, Forbidden Crown. Do you know? I think people are underestimating its utility. There's a lot of things it can do, and there's a lot of game states that it will kind of just like disrupt or just stun someone out of. Like if you're playing a link-based deck and you get hit with a crown, it's a long day at the office. Like that link monster is going nowhere fast. Do you know what I mean? But it's got its own applications. It just kind of like it reminds me of what's it called? Emissary from the House of Wax. It's like freeze. Like this card is staying. Do you know what I mean?
I forgot that card existed.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I thought you were talking about that old horror film from like 2005. I was like, what? Where's this going?
The emissary just like freezes your cards in place. Do you got what I mean? And
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
it's,
the level
it's,
3, yeah.
Yeah, and it's reminiscent of that. And I feel like the utility of all the things that all the restrictions that it puts on the card, or the things that you can't do to it, it can create some weird board states. Like I've seen people OTK through like hitting an IP Masquerena with Forbidden Crown. Do you know what I mean? Because 800 attack and everything just attacks into the IP, and she's just taking a beating basically, which I think is quite funny. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like this card is nice.
So do you know what I think about this card? I think I agree with you, basically, and I think I was even talking about with you guys in the chat, where I think if you're playing a meta deck, if you're playing like Draco Tail or something, I think this card is good, because I think that there's a lot of ways that a deck that is good. Like one of the things you'll see with meta decks often is like they can get like overwhelming advantage over you, right? So it's like what tends to happen in the match is that like it's back and forth, then one person gets, and then eventually you exhaust their interruptions, and then you can kind of just zoom past them. And I think in decks like that, where your deck has kind of overwhelming power and you can afford to play cards like these, it's good. However, I think this card is horrible in most decks, if we look at just most decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. So again, if you're playing a meta deck, I think this card is good. Like you said, there are game states where it will work. But for example, like, I can't get over this shit, man. Like, that's so annoying. Like, why can't I attack over this card? It's just so annoying. Like, I think that's the biggest problem I have with this card. And like, so for example, I'm Dark Lords is the main deck that I'm playing, and like I had this in my deck as like a one-off because I was like, oh, I can search it, it's cool. But I kept finding and Dark Lords has a card specifically that can take advantage because you can use enchantment and you can just take it from your opponent. But I just kept finding that like it's just really annoying. Like I negate my opponents. Like I wish I just drop played them or something. Like that's my problem with this card. Like it is kind of cool that you stop, like the card is basically like no material, which is nice, but other than that, like I find this card so frustrating. So I think if you're playing a meta deck, this card is good. I think if you're not, I think this card is not worth buying basically. Like I personally wouldn't get it, but again, play a meta deck, I'd definitely get it. But one thing that is interesting to say the least is that this card does have that defensive aspect as well, so it does kind of work for your favor as well. Like technically speaking, you can use this and basically just say, hey, you're not killing me this turn if I have a fat card in defense or something, and I just put this on it, which is kind of nice. But yeah, Ryan, what do you think? What do you think about this card?
I'm not too sure how I feel it, to be perfectly honest. I think it's a really good card going first. Obviously, hitting turn 0 players, you know, you can hit Azunas, Holisus, Aphelions. Those are all really good hits. And then pretty much anything on your opponent's turn when they're like normal something like a Raisin, Lucius, Minikine is really good then. But I'm not too sure if I want it going second. I don't like the idea of just giving my opponent a towers and you know I can't really kill them through it. Obviously, if you can hit a little monster like Jay said, hit an IP with it or something, that's great, and you can OTK. But most decks aren't ending on IP right now. You know, if you look at Draco Tail, they're going to end on some big fusions, and if you crown one of them, you're definitely not going to be able to kill through that. And then you know they'll kill you with the follow up. So I'm not too sure how far in it.
I think the good thing about this card is the fact that we're having this conversation.
Yes.
And I think that's why I feel like it's a really good card, because people don't actually know. Like, it won't be apparent how good it is until it is good, and then people are going to be like, "Oh yeah, here we go." You know I
will say that there is one deck that is going to abuse the heck that will love this card, and that's going to be Chimera. For Chimera, this card is
not the deck I thought you were going to play.
What did you think I was going to say?
Radiant Typhoon, the quick play spell deck.
I mean, Radiant Typhoon's not killing you if they do this. Radiant Typhoon.
No, but I mean, just like because it's just a sick quick play to add to the arsenal.
I guess, yeah. But for me, it's more Chimera, because Chimera is going to do this. Your card is now stuck on the field. That card's not going nowhere, and then they're going to like headbutt it until you die. So, I mean, in that deck, this card is absolutely nuts. I definitely think if I was playing that deck, I'll play through it. But then if you're playing, I don't know, if you're playing Chimera in this format, I feel like you have other problems. That's the
yeah.
So, yeah, it's looking a bit sticky. But the GMX cards, I can't lie, I'm not really familiar with them. I remember it's funny because when they got announced initially, I feel like the first two were bad because I felt like every single YouTuber and this kind of leads into the main topic, which, you know, let me start with the main topic and then we can use GMX as the example. So the main topic is, do we think people are bad at gauging how good sets are? Yeah. Do you think people are bad at it? And I'll use GMX as an example because I remember when this came out and it had like, there was 2 cards released. One of them was like the scientist that had like a suit and shit. And
Sorry,
everyone was...
just to cut you off, Fabs. Do you mean like how good its set overall is, or how good like certain cards in a set are?
Both, because it's one and the same, really, right?
Okay.
How good a set is, how good the cards in the set are.
Right.
Because everyone was saying this deck, the cards were so trash when it was initially released. But then now I've almost heard the opposite, that, oh no, the cards are actually looking quite good. So I don't know, like, firstly, GMX, I don't know which one it is. Let's see. Chairman Kimrich. I want to say it's that card because it looked like he was the boss. Oh, fuck's sake, this like 10th time that's happened.
You will remember one time.
Yeah,
it was and then it searches the fusion and you put it back into the deck, which makes sense thematically because the fusion spell excavates. So I understand that.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone was saying this deck sucked initially, but I mean, now I'm hearing everyone say that it's good. And obviously, I don't know much about it, but what do you think? Do you think people are bad at gauging how good cards in the set are?
I'm going to start this off just because GMX is something that in Sanctum Squad we've been talking about a little bit. So when I first read the GMX cards, I was like, okay, maybe like as a deck, first wave, this doesn't seem like it's going to be cutting the mustard too much. Obviously, there's things you can do with dinosaurs, like you can slap it in a big sloppy dinosaur pile, but there's like whatever in it. But something interesting that me and Jake found was the level 3 researcher is a starter, and I think it's one of the only 1-card starters that Furhire has. Going back to Furhire being a deck that I've seen quite a few top players talk about, you know, this could be like an underrated meta pick. Because what this card does is it just unsummon, it just special summons a level 3 dinosaur, level 3 or lower dinosaur from the deck, which even if you put aside all the other GMX text on there, that's pretty decent. Full stop.
Pretty crazy.
So I think maybe people are too quick to judge overall archetypes, but that doesn't mean that cards in there are necessarily bad. I'm struggling to think of another example, unfortunately, where there's been like one card that outshines the rest of the archetype. Maybe someone will be able to come up with another example. I think the problem is people are very quick to judge, but I also think that people are very quick to bandwagon opinions in just in general in life, I suppose. Like if you see a card and someone says, "Oh, this card's rubbish," you're going to be more inclined to think, there's got to be a reason they're saying this card's rubbish. So maybe you just think, yeah, this card must be rubbish. You know, you leave it in the bulk on the table, locals or whatever. And then you go to, I don't know, you watch a YCS and then, you know what, we'll use the Odeon deck as an example. That Odeon Primite deck that won the YCS. Because everyone's like, oh, Odeon's like, okay. You know, the Primate stuff's just good in blue eyes. The guy made a good meta call. How lucky he got in his dice rolls remains to be seen. But, you know, he won a YCS with it and people were like, oh, okay, these cards actually put together a really strong resource engine. Like, you know, it's worth considering. So, yeah, I think I don't think people are quick to judge sets, but I do think people are quick to judge cards. Actually, you know what? Sorry, I'm talking a lot here. But everyone said that Dude was a really bad set when it came out. And now Dude has like a lot of like 20+ pound cards that you've got all the Radiant Typhoon secret rares. Dogmatic of Fleur de Lis has risen up as well. Frixel is still maintaining the same price it had on release, even though that was the most anticipated secret rare, I think. What else was in this set?
I mean, even the Soulful Cord cards saw a bit of play with Yummy.
Yeah, the soft core cards, obviously they were low rarity, but they were still something that was taken into account. Yeah, like I do think people can be quick to judge sets overall when there's just not an archetype in it that's like clearly tier 1. That's my 2 piece on it anyway. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I think, I think if it's not overtly or apparently broken in some sense of the word, people do judge. And I'll take Justice Hunt as an example. I remember, I think you opened a case, Ryan, and I was like, listen, I want them Draco Tail cards because a fusion deck that can play hand traps is just, to me, that sounds mad. Like, it's got the ability to get rid of those dead cards in your hand and make them into something useful. And at that point, everybody was like glazing Yummie. It was like, yeah, Yummie's the new wave, and it's just going to take over the meta. The K9 cards were always going to be the strong engine, and Draco Tail was the weakest of the set. And then now we're sitting here talking about how Draco Tail branded is going to be the next best deck of the format. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I kind of like what you said about Dan, about people bandwagoning opinions. I think that does have something to play on it, because YouTubers tend to shout the loudest because their voice resonates with a lot of the community, so then people just formulate their opinions off them. Do you know what I mean? And I don't really go out and test the cards themselves. We're basing our opinion on somebody else's testing, thoughts, perception of cards, like. And I feel like I feel like it's easier to do that because it's more efficient. It's quicker to just watch a video and be like, oh yeah, that card's bad, rather than actually go and log on to like DB or something and actually test the card yourself. So, which is why we always end up in a scenario where people are like, oh, that card's trash. Like, but have you tested it though? Do you know what I mean? Like, unless you've tested it and you've got your own valid reason, like, you just kind of formulating your opinion on somebody else's opinion. So yeah, this was my take on it.
I think we're all guilty of it. Like, I've definitely been guilty of it. Like, I'm not trying to come off like holier than thou. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just a natural part of human nature to a degree. So
yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes I do think YouTubers say shit and they overhype decks, and they're wrong. But to be fair, I want to say that more often than not, I see them being right than wrong. Right? Like, it's not that often that I see them being just like outright wrong. Usually it's just a case of like they've said a card. To be honest, like there's I feel like there's like two tiers of Yugi tubers, right? And quality of content. There's some Yugi tubers that you watch and like, you know, you don't take them seriously, right? Like, as they're saying certain things, it's just like, you know, it's a nice video to watch. I don't want to name any names, but there was a specific person who I think he was posting. He was talking about how like Runic Fountain would be good, and so I posted it in Zodiac Duelist. They're like, is this guy playing the same format as us? Like that. So it's like there's some Yugi tubers I watch and it's like I don't take seriously, whereas there's other Yugi tubers that I watch. Like if I look at now like Steven Santoni, you've got your Joshua Schmidt, you've got your Jesse Bonds. Like, when you watch that kind of subset of pro YouTubers, they're fairly accurate. Like, their opinions will be different. Like, you can watch like 5 or 6 of them, they'll have slightly different opinions. But broadly speaking, they're quite right. So I'd say it really depends as well. A big part of it as well is like you have to kind of cater who you're watching to make sure you're getting good information. Like, I wouldn't take it, because let's all be honest, right? You wouldn't take advice from everyone at your locals about what cards are good. So like, why would you take advice from anyone on YouTube, right? You would only take from people that you actually trust, that actually have like tops and stuff like that. Yeah, that's how I see it.
What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I think just going back to the subject of like sort of good YouTubers to listen to and bad ones, I think that the way you can tell the difference is the way that they give their reasonings behind their opinions. Mm-hmm. Some of the top YouTubers you just mentioned, like Steven Santoli, Lucas Sacco, for example, they have very different play styles, very different opinions on the game, but they are both very good at giving their reasonings behind them. So it's much easier to take their advice on board, even if you don't necessarily agree with it. You will always like understand that they have their reasonings behind it, and you'll be able to see that. Whereas I think the sort of ones you maybe shouldn't necessarily listen to, they either can't give explanations behind their choices, or you just see right through them straight away. Especially when they start shouting, that's usually the biggest indicator. If it wasn't shit,
yeah, definitely. I think. Look, the thing is, I've released videos too, so I have the temptation sometimes. But one thing I'll say is, the first to be signal that I know that this person's trying shit is when I see all caps and an exclamation mark. As soon as I see that in the title, I already know.
Well, that stupid thumbnail where they're just to the side and they're like, That's gonna be that's gonna be a bad video.
Yeah. This is one thing I do like. Not to cut Ryan off, just to interject here, but this is one thing I like about being in the Sanctum squad because obviously there's a lot of different play styles, a lot of different like deck preferences, and Jake likes testing a lot of like really rogue off the wall stuff. And he'll profile a deck, but he will just tell everyone that is watching like this deck is not very good in it. Like he'll make no bones about the fact that it's rubbish, but he's still trying to make it the best as he can. So it's still an okay video because he's not lying to him.
Yeah.
And I rate him for that. He was
creators like that are awesome, right? Oh, sorry, you carry on then.
No, I was just going to say as a follow-up, he made a video on Toons, a little plug, because obviously they have a new sport announced. And I think he started the video off by saying, if they solemn report you, you just lose full stop. Like, so.
Yeah. I really like it. That's even what attracted me to Sanctum Squad in the first place. Because even if you're doing shit decks, like, there's a difference between like a shit deck and a good player. Or sorry, there's a difference between like a shit deck because the player is bad and a shit deck because the deck itself is shit. And a good player can make a good shit deck. So that's one of the things I like about like the old Plunder Patrol videos, for example. Like I watched all the Sanctum Squad ones because they were actually good. And it's like even though Plunder Patrol wasn't an amazing deck, it made the deck better. Another example is what's that guy's name? Jacked Yugioh for DDD.
Yeah.
Like this guy's like Picasso with DDD. It's fucking crazy. Like and like it's the same thing. Like DDD is not an amazing deck, and he doesn't act like it's like the best deck in the world. Like he says it all the time. Like he was it was just before not this set of new stuff, but the last set of new stuff basically came out. And he was like, how he's like low because he's like, you're not likely going to win unless you know the deck perfectly and stuff. But then he was showing you how to play and stuff, and it makes you interested in the deck because you can trust what he's saying, and it's like you can hear his expertise. So yeah, I think it even makes a creator interesting to watch when they can make a crap deck good.
Yeah. Sorry, going back to what you were saying originally, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. To be honest, I can't remember my point now. I was enjoying that.
It's about like judging if a set is or a card's bad or not. Like, what was your opinions on that?
Yeah. So yeah, back to the big question, I guess. Myself, I'm never really too hot on new cards too early before they come out. Just because I'm usually more focused on trying to improve on the current format, especially when it's like regional season or whatever. So I'm never really in the kitchen too much myself. I tend to just let things play out a bit and then see what I like out of the decks that are available. So I'm probably not the best to give my opinion on this, to be honest, because I never really look at cards too early. But you know what the general public is like.
Yeah,
They will overhype mid, and well they'll play down good cards.
yes, for sure. I'll say this as well. It's controversial, but it's true. I think a lot of people don't have money as well, and they'll say that a card is bad because they can't afford it. I feel like that's something I see all the time. Like sometimes a card is genuinely just the best option, but you'll hear all sort of mental gymnastics why a card isn't good, and it's really just because the person like again, not to throw shots at anyone, but I very often see Yugioh, I see people do deck profiles, and it's like they'll try and make logical leaps as to why like they're playing Forbidden Chalice instead of Droplets and stuff, and it's like, just yeah, bro, you didn't have it. That's fine. Doesn't mean that your choice is the right choice. It just means that you're choosing
best choice for you at the time.
Yeah,
and might not be the most optimal.
And it's funny because actually I'll call out Andre for this, and that one of the things I like about Andre's profiles is often he'll straight up be like, yeah, I'm not spending. He'll be like, I'm not spending this much on this card, so I'm playing this. And it's like, yeah, safe, I get it. Like, me too. I ain't got it like that, so I'm not going to spend that much money on the card. So it's like, it's nice again when they're just honest, and it's like, this isn't the best card, but I'm picking it, this is what I got.
Yeah, so I think that's that kind of like going back to what you was mentioning, Ryan. I think that's why I will listen to like Stephen Santoli and like Joshua Smith, because they're open and honest. They will like resonate the same kind of like feeling, like you can play this, but it's not optimal. Do you know what I mean? And I like that. There's a reason behind it. Do you know what I mean? They've kind of appealed to my curiosity as to, is there an alternative option? Because a lot of the times it's like, oh, if you're not playing this, you're trash. If you're playing this, you're behind or you're rubbish, or do you know what I mean? And that kind of sentiment like kind of funnels you into thinking that there's only one way to play a deck, and there isn't. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing just to sort of close out on the topic of the YouTubers. One thing I like about Schmidt in particular is he'll do a deck profile of like a big event, no matter how well he did, and like he'll talk about why he didn't do well and things like that. And I think that is something that if you're looking to improve, you shouldn't just dismiss a deck profile from a player just because they didn't necessarily do well with it, because it could be like you want to know why they didn't do well with it, especially if you're playing the deck. Like you want to know, did they make bad non-engine calls? Like was it just an unlucky day? Things like that. Because I mean, one of my mottos is, you know, you learn more from your losses than your wins. So maybe that's just a personal thing. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah. I was gonna say I very much agree with that, and I think it's a perfect point, right? Because he'll go to the event, he'll scrub out, and he'll still show the list. Some people, like, you have to remember the opposite of that is true as well. There are other people who they topped an event because they got lucky. It's just that their opponents bricked like 6 rounds in a row, but they've posted their list, and it's like, what the heck? I'll be looking at this like, how did you top with this? It's like, nothing
If you want an example of that, you should go and watch my top 8 profile where I'll top 8 with Runic, because I shouldn't have topped that reason. I get knackers, that deck was bad old rubbish.
Right, well, to close out this episode, we're gonna ask everyone to give us their sleeper pick for this format. So yeah, what is your sleeper deck for the Burst Protocol post-ban list format?
I'm gonna say for hire.
Okay, stealing my pick. Come on.
Yeah, because I feel like drawing cards is just a mad like feeling, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh! When you draw into non-engine. Imagine resolving full combo and then drawing into like Ash, like do you know what I mean, Veiler or so, like Bow. Like they're not the most impactful hand traps, but on top of a board, like it's pretty frustrating. But for your opponent anyway. But I feel like K9 for hire is looking really solid, and I know that there's been a couple of YouTubers that have been screaming about it. So that's definitely going to be my sleeper pick, because I think there's a card in there. I think it's a level 5 that every time.
Yeah, Rex Gale.
Yeah, is it add? Is it every time you add or draw that you can draw as well? It's one of
those. It's not once per turn, and it's not once per card. So if you can stick 2 of them down, it's basically you full lost your opponent and
whoa. What's this card called?
Rex Gale per hire.
Yeah, that to me that's just crazy. And I've got a for hire deck because I had it when it was trash. So quote unquote.
And now you're in the money because beats are like 35 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, for hire is looking spicy. Ain't gonna lie.
Just while we're talking about money, guys, Condemned Dark Lord is now £25. So
what's that? The link to?
Linked.
Oh my! I've got like 1 million of those. All right, I'm in the money, boys.
Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, oh my! I'm looking at this Rex card as well. And yeah, this is a cheeky card.
It's like a fur hire Jockle as well, so it just puts bodies on, which is nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
My pick is going to be Pure Vanquish Soul, but I don't know enough about it to comment on it. But this is just what I've picked up from people who I've spoken to about it. So I'm going to ask Andre and Ryan to sort of pitch to people why they should consider playing Pure over the K9 version. That's maybe a little bit cheeky of me to ask somebody else to give the reason. But I do have another pick as well.
I think the obvious thing is for me, if you don't take a lead on this, I think the obvious thing is for me is you've got flexibility in non-engine, and that's always going to be the case when you play a deck pure. And Vanquish Soul can, depending on the hand, it can quite easily play around the most common threats in the format, which is like Fuelos. Kind of struggles against Perulia a little bit, but it can set up somewhat of a board, and if you've got the space for the non-engine, effectively it means that you can still present some kind of interaction on your opponent's turn despite those hand traps. You can kind of ignore them to some point or some degree, and if you remove some of the K9 stuff, you can put your bits and pieces in, your Forbidden Crowns if you so wish, or do you know what I mean, whatever non-engine you want. And I think that's where I was at before Kalisu came out. Like I was running Dolgarad, I was running Gravekeeper's Inscription. Like there was a lot of things that I was just stunning my opponent out of the game with, just because I had the space to do that. And you couldn't really do that when you was playing the K9 version. So that's my only take on it. So we'll have to do a bit more testing, and then I'll come back to you with that. Dan, it's looking spicy. What do you think, Ryan?
For me, I think because with the K9 hits and the fact that you've now got more Vanquish Soul names to come back, you can't you won't be leaning as much on the K9 cards anymore. So I'm not sure it's really worth playing like Noroyas and stuff, especially if you're going to be playing 3 Razor and 3 Mad Love. That's already 6 normal summons, which is about the right amount for a 40 card deck. So I don't think really want to go over that. And it does like Dre said, it does open up the space for more non-engine. You can also play pots as well. So I personally in my deck I'm playing Extra and a Prosperity as well, and that gives you the level of consistency you need on top of getting the 3 raisins and the 3 state back. In terms of why I think you should be playing the deck, main deck Shifter. That card is ridiculous as always. You've got a starter or 2, you're going to win the game. Similarly in the side deck, I'm running 3 D-Fissure. Card's insane right now. Obviously just completely flood Draco out of the game. They do have the Fallen and the Virtuous to out it, and on top of maybe things like Double Cyclone as well. They might consider sliding that in if they expect D-Fissure, which they should. I think it's got a really good matchup into Draco Tail going second. The traps don't hurt too much. There's not really any spells you have to push through. You can remove threats off the board without attacking over them, so you don't necessarily have to summon an attack unless you're going to summon the rock. So you can play into the board quite nicely, and same with the Radiant Typhoon. That deck mostly relies on negation or spot removal, and personally in my list I'm playing triple Borga, and that really helps in that matchup. Obviously dodging the annoying spells. You can't change to Crown, which is annoying. It's really annoying into VS. But just dodging stuff like the pops, the negates for the MST, etc. is really good. And also the fact that there's not too many good darks about anymore, so you sort of have to up the dark can. I think it is worth playing at least 2 Borga. I just think the deck's really good right now. It's probably one of the top 3 best decks, if not top 2.
One more thing to add, and I know I've mentioned this before, but 5k damage. Because Borga's so ignorant, like, you only need to do 5k damage. Or if you Forbidden Crown something, you can just attack into it with Caesar Valius and then just never attack ever again and still win the game. Which I think is quite funny.
It's so jarring. Play against Vanquish Soul and think, I'm not dead. And you draw and go, main phase, you lose.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a great feeling to be on the other end.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I think my pick is not necessarily something to pick up to play now, but I think something that I would be picking up now in anticipation for the next set is Elf Notes. Because once that deck gets its new support and the Synchro hand trap comes out, the Harmonia, I think that catapults the deck really nicely into tier 1.5. The deck itself is like good now, it just doesn't seem to have enough, I think. Because obviously you can play it with Fiendsmith and stuff, and I know that this is something that me and Ryan have been testing. It just doesn't seem to be quite on the power level of the other best decks in the room. But I do think that come Blazing Dominion and come like National Season, that deck is definitely going to be one to watch. So if it turns out that the Elf Notes cores are cheap and you can get a decent deal and you've already got Medius the Pures for whatever reason, I'd definitely consider picking it up.
I think that's a pretty good pick. I'll be honest. I know Elf Notes is going to be an interesting one to see when it starts to dominate the format. And that hand trap is ridiculous. I was reading about it literally just before the show.
Crazy.
It's Bestials. It's another Bestial again. It's
yeah. You just dump a Pack Bit or a Malong and it's like you've already got Instruction.
Yeah, very, very good card.
Yeah. So Fab, tell us on Dark Lords.
So funny enough, like I said, I think Dark Lords is good next set. Or not next set, whichever set the Rota for Power Patron comes out. But no, the deck I actually think is to one to watch as Exorcista. I think Exorcista is a good deck. I think that it has... So, going first, it has a fantastic matchup into absolutely everything. Its problem is going second, because it only really has like 2 pushes, 2.5. If you're cheeking, you can still play crap cards like Sakatama and stuff. But I think the nice thing about Exorcista is that like almost everything that Dracotel wants to do triggers your Exorcista cards, which is really nice. and then like just 4 banishes is really annoying to deal with. Like just it's like I banish this, I banish that, I banish that, and I think that's going to give it a lot of strength. It still remains to be seen if they have a way to play through. I think if people can't find a way for your second Exorcist card that hits the board to not just get immediately destroyed by whatever interruption, then I don't see that deck having a chance. But I think if we see some unique builds, some unique non-engine that actually allows to do it, I think Exorcista has a pretty good chance because like Exorcista likes it when you move cards out of the graveyard, and that's pretty much what Dragotel and other decks are doing this format. So that's definitely one to watch. I think they'll have a pretty good chance.
I hadn't thought about that, to be fair. And they corrected the errata on the card,
which is also very nice as well. Yeah, so Exorcista's looking pretty good. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But guys, that was another awesome episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. Thank you so much, Ryan, for dropping in. And yeah, I guess we're gonna see you guys in yeah, no worries, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.